Every man loves a woman who can knit. So that's my talent. So I brought my knitting needles. I'm kind of short, so I'm gonna adjust this mic. Can everyone hear me? Yeah. I have a question for you guys. How hot is Callie on tonight? That's just what I want. I know that half the crowd is here for him, but I realize that the other half is here for me, so it's okay. But even with one arm, he still has a lot of sex appeal. I think that's pretty crazy. All right, I'm gonna get started here. Just wind it up. Start it smooth and slow. That's what she said. I learned to knit alone in my room. It was a cool, dark night. I put on some music, some comfortable clothes, and I just sat back and knitted all night long. I just like to put it out there that whoever wins me tonight will also win this beautiful brown scarf. So, hello, better place your bids. I'm just going to show you a little bit of what I do. And then I'm going to tell you a story. Some things that you should know about me. I asked today at school a few questions like, what would you want to know about Emily Miller? You have to know what you're getting into. So I said, all right, let's start simple. If I could be any ice cream, what would I be? Well, anonymous person number one, that is a very good question. You okay over there, Kevin? All right. If I were to be any ice cream, I would be birthday cake remix. Do you want to know why? Do you want to know why? Because I'm a party in your mouth. I hope this isn't too underrated for Mr. Owen here. It's getting a little hot and steamy up here. Oh, you guys are a pretty attractive crowd. It's radiating all the way up here. I don't know. It's starting to get a little hot. Alright. Alright. Well, yes, exactly. Alright. I think you guys have seen a bit of my talent here, so I'm going to tell you a story. Callie, even with one arm, could you please hold this for me?
I'm just scrolling camera, keep that camera on though.
I'm going to tell you a story.
Camera on that.
Now I'm going to tell you a story. It was November. I had been practicing this skill of mine for a very long time, and I was very excited. I was going to the DMV to take my road test for the first time. I was nervous, yes I was. And I go and I ask my dad, please would you leave the car? And he says, okay. So he leaves and I get around the driver's seat. And the second I get into the driver's seat, I knew I would fail. Because the woman comes in and says, listen honey, how old are you? I'm like, I'm 16. Is that a problem? She goes, no, please turn on the car. So like, I really want to look like I'm driving really well. So like, I adjust the mirror, but honestly, who adjusts their mirror before they drive? I don't. So I'm like, so I adjust it, you know, I get going. I'm doing like a killer job, right? I'm like driving so well. So it gets to my parallel park. I know, I was right. All right. So I'll walk you through exactly how it happened. I'm on this side. So I put the car in reverse. I look in my mirror, you know, make sure everything's okay, and I'm backing up, right? Hook my wheels this way and slide it. It's perfection, right? Back it up. Yeah, back it up. Yeah. Right. So it's in nice and tight, right? Oh, that's what she said. Oh. I'm like, all right, it's game time. I'm gonna pass this beep and road test. So the woman says, all right, now you can leave the curb. So I'm like right up against this car. I'm like, all right, I better back up a little bit, right? So I back up and she says, stop the vehicle. Honestly, who calls it a vehicle? So I stop the vehicle and she goes, I did not tell you to back up from the curb. I'm like, what? So she says, well, now you must safely proceed. Okay. So I'm like inching around this car, and there's this little kindergartner watching me do this. She's like, oh my God, she's gonna crash on the road test. So I'm like inching my way around the car, and the woman's like, oh Jesus, this is horrible. I will go to the DMV. So I'm like, all right. So we get back, I failed. I know, it was really upsetting. My friend Kevin over there was very upset with me, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Kevin. All right, so I take it again. Last week. I do it perfectly, the entire thing. Guess what happened? Pass. Yes, I failed. Can you believe that? I failed my road test. So she pulls over and she's like, listen, honey, you failed to look in every mirror. I don't think you know how to drive. I'm like, excuse me, I don't know how to drive? Who's in the driver's seat right now? Is it you? No. P.S. I don't think that you should keep doing that perm because it's really ugly. Anyway, just to finish it off because I know we're a little low on time. I know, I'm sorry. I asked a few people what it would be like to have a date with Emily Miller, or what it's like to have Emily Miller as their own. Well, I will not read the inappropriate ones. Am I allowed to say sexy? Am I allowed to say that? Emily Miller, reasons to pick her. She is sexy, fierce, funny and sweet and smiley. Smells good. I heard that back there. You better be putting a ticket in my box. I know you want it. All right. That's what she said. Oh my God. You should pick Emily Miller because, in 2 words, she is the absolute sexiest person in the entire world. 2 words. I know. That's what I said. This kid's like a National Merit Scholar when he wrote this. Plus, she has the greatest cello skills in the entire world. All right, last one before I leave, and I better get a good goodbye from you guys. You know, you've been like the most attractive crowd I've ever been in front of. All right, the last one is you should pick Emily Miller because Saturday is National Hookup with a Jew Day.